well. They're just like objects that don't have any function, and I think it's quite a strange thing to do. So I'm making them. I know. I'm just exploring like why would he do this anyway? I know. So I got interested in in this idea of human beings as just a type of animal, and then and also like why have we sort of like come to dominate the whole of the natural world? Why not another animal? And what's the difference? And I'm really interested in talking to you for two reasons. Firstly, because you're my mother, and also because of your work as a vicar as well.
Yeah. Wasn't it William Morris who said, "Never have anything in your house unless it's useful or beautiful or both"?
That is very kind. You were saying that because you're my mother, not because you're a vicar. So thank you. That means I'm allowed to make things as long as they're beautiful.
Yes. And Charlie, the other thing is the difference between, well, it seems to me anyway, that the difference between us and animals is that we have language. Language that can express abstract things, which animals don't have. Animals can express all sorts of things through body language, but not abstract ideas.
Okay. But what things can they? Yeah, no, that's true. Would you say that is the main difference, or like, do you think there are more differences than that, or do you? I mean, like, I know, especially from a sort of religious point of view, like, because it seems to me quite obvious that cats are cats and fish are fish and people are people and dogs are dogs, and that's just how things are. Okay.
Yes.
But then, as soon as you sort of include a religious sort of aspect to it, where human beings are the sort of chosen, I don't know, species. I don't know, like we are the centre of the universe, just so you know, and then God made us in His own image and stuff. And it's like, and there's quite I'm not sure if there's a conflict. I don't know if there is or not. But I was interested. I actually am really. We never really talked about this before, and I am really interested to know what your thoughts are on this.
Well, I don't know. My instinct tells me that. Well, I'm quite sure that God exists. I can't unknow that God exists. And that being so, I suppose it depends. I suppose you need to know what I think of as God, what I see as God. And do you need to know that or not really?
Yeah, I absolutely do, yes.
Yeah, well, I experience God as like a huge mind, a communicating, loving, enormous mind, bigger and deeper and more profound and greater than we can imagine. All powerful, all knowing, all seeing, not encumbered with a physical body like we are, and the creator of everything that is and ever has been and ever will be. The first cause, if you like, and God has never not been.
It's so. No, that makes a lot of sense. What is the are we special or not?
I think so. I think we are, because it's difficult to express. All these things are very difficult to express because they're to do with ideas and things which are not concrete, and they're out there. They're not in our familiar concrete world, material world. They're to do with the sort of mysterious things which our brains are probably not equipped to understand. But I do think that we are, as it were, the top of the not the food chain, but the top of creation, probably, because of this thing about language, because we can reason and think forwards and backwards, and because we are equipped to communicate with the Creator.
Okay. Do you think that dolphins can?
I think it's perfectly possible that a lot of the created beings, whatever they're like, can, but not in the way that we can.
Okay, and maybe and is it possible that they can in a way that we can't as well? Is it like, or is it like, or do we have the best line? We're the biggest churches.
The biggest churches? What's that got?
No, nothing. So I was being silly. But I mean, I was wondering if you ever think about these things or not. If you.
But I haven't thought about these specific things, although I have a bit. I mean, people say, like you did just now, that we are the centre of the universe. I don't think that. Again, it's sort of instinct feeling. I don't think that we are the centre of the universe, because I think probably there are all sorts of things that we don't know exist. And I think that animals, well, other created beings, whatever they are, probably do communicate, but in ways that we can't communicate. But they can't. I don't know, Charlie. Maybe they can communicate without using language. Maybe we are the lowest of the low because we have to use language to communicate.
I like this. Is interesting. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, I suppose we actually just literally don't know.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know, do we? Because when we try and communicate with animals, we try and persuade them to use our language, our way of communication, don't we? Like these people who have made, I think it's orangutans, or it might be chimpanzees, to respond to words.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there is a gorilla in California who's really good with sign language. She's brilliant. She can say loads of things.
Yes, but that's all that is doing is harnessing her intelligence so that we can communicate. It's not actually. I mean, who knows? She may communicate with her own kind and with God without using words in ways that we don't understand.
Yeah.
Not just physical body language, but unspoken sort of think and imagine language.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe. I was quite interested in. I'm trying to think how the best way to say is so with human beings, we basically like. I mean, do you think it's okay for us to again, like in the Bible, like I think in I feel really ashamed talking to you about this because I should know all the Bible stories like off by heart. But I think in Genesis it is made pretty clear that basically we and the garden is ours and we are in charge of all the animals. Is our duty and purpose to basically look after things as sort of caretakers.
Yes,
as stewards to keep things going. And in that position, do you think that is actually the case, or is that just an ancient superstitious story? And the real story is about Jesus or something. And yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, the story of the creation in the beginning of Genesis, in chapters 1 and 2, that I have been taught in my training that those should be regarded not as literal truth, but as humanity's attempt to explain how things came into being. And they're myths which state an essential truth, which is that God created. But of course we can't know how he did it and the time scale or anything like that. It's myth, but myth isn't necessarily not true, although it's not literally true.
Okay. Yeah, no, I suppose so. So you think the kind of the sentiment behind the story has some kind of essential truth in there?
It's not exactly sentiment. It's I mean, for instance, the story of God creating woman out of Adam's rib.
No, that is so true. That is obvious.
Of course, it must be literally true, mustn't it?
Obvious, it's true. Yeah. I think I've never been brave enough to mention that to my wife before.
But you know, it's a delightful story, and I mean, who knows?
Who knows what was going on? Yeah. Do you think that it is okay for us to like? I mean, in terms of global warming and whatever you think about that, and like at the moment there's a kind of accelerated sort of path of extinctions. Like lots of animals are basically becoming, you know, their numbers are going down a lot. You know, apart from the ones that we farm, where they're going up. And our population is getting absolutely huge. Do you think that it's? I don't know. Like, I mean, is there a sort of, you know, in terms of religion, is there like a moral aspect here, or is that not really relevant because it's more to do with saving your soul and going to heaven?
No. We definitely have a moral obligation to steward the creation, to look after what God has created. And the fact that, I mean, nobody ever talks about overpopulation of humans, but that is the main cause of most of the ills that are happening to the planet. And it is up to us to restrict our population. How it's ever going to be achieved, I have no idea.
So in terms of sin, like, do you think it's a sin for someone to have 10 children?
Well, I think it's very stupid in this day and age.
I know.
It's frightfully expensive.
Very expensive.
Somebody has to pay for them. I don't know about sin. Perhaps it is. I don't know.
I don't know. Or like when you say, I quite like the word sin because it's quite definite. And would you say, is it a sin to like let loads of sort of pollution into the sea?
Yes, I do. Definitely. And talking about a man having 10 children, thinking particularly of your dear father, he's got 10 children.
Yeah.
He's kind of spread it around for his own pleasure, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, he is. I never suggested he wasn't a sinner.
Are you not suggesting he wasn't a sinner, or you are suggesting he wasn't a sinner?
I haven't got any doubts about what I think about him. But he's I don't know. Anyway, it's and no, I thought it was funny. That's all.
But it's in a way. I mean, you can't say it's one rule for men and another for women.
No. I'm not saying that at all. No.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But
but like the thing is that with everything that you do in your life, from when you wake up and decide to have a breakfast, that it is possible to kind of ascribe a kind of moral price on everything if you choose to, if you want to, and I don't know, like so like it would be possible to say it's immoral to have children, even at a time when overpopulation is really massive, or not. I don't really know. I mean, but then obviously that's part of being human. I mean, I know it's a bit of a catch-22 really, because obviously, like having children is a good thing to do because family is good. And I've got little Caspi asleep upstairs now, and I don't know, like he's like he's a really good boy, and he's like I think the world's definitely a better place for him being in it.
Definitely, so do I.
But although he did draw on the wall today, which is very naughty. But the thing is, but there is I was just wondering if that's ever. You've ever even heard someone talk about it before, especially in the context of all the sort of reading and training and stuff that you've done?
Yes, not actually specifically, but it is the sort of thing that one thinks about and talks about. And actually, last week I did an evensong service at St Albans Head, the little chapel out on the point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that tiny little one. And I did a Celtic service. With, according to the Celtic Christians' ideas, and I looked at, it was interesting because I actually had to look up quite a lot of things, and I read some of the, I'm just going to look it up. There's a place at the beginning of Genesis when, after Noah, it rained and Noah built the ark and all that. And then God said, never again will I curse the ground because of man, even though every inclination of his heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night.
Oh, that's screwed. That's screwed. Oh no, that's a bit scary.
I think it's lovely.
No, it is lovely. But the fact is that as long as these things happen, those are all the things that are that are slowing down. As in the physical ground is not enduring as much as it has done.
What, you're thinking of the earthquake?
No, I'm just thinking of crop yields in Africa.
And that sort of thing. Well, yes, but again, Charlie, all these awful things that are happening, we brought onto ourselves.
No, this is what I'm saying. So you can almost say, I don't know, and I'm slightly getting off the point really, anyway, but if you're really doomsayish and superstitious, you could say that God said that he wouldn't do it, but obviously if you, I don't know, anyway. And so I wanted to also ask, what was the other thing? I've got 3 questions. We've done 2 of them. We've done apes and humans. We've done like the morality side. Oh yeah. So basically, what? I'm quite interested in what are the drivers in human beings to kind of make us do this stuff all the time. I give you an example. Is gardening is a very strange activity because it doesn't if you're not growing food, then all you're doing is you're just keeping it tidy.
No, you're not. You're creating beauty.
Exactly, you're creating beauty. And why do we do this? Why do we create beauty?
I don't know, but I think that we have an inbuilt sense of what is beautiful, of rhythm and balance and colour. and we like to look at it, and it gives us pleasure. Don't you think? It's going back to the other two subjects. There's a you've heard it said that God is love.
I've heard that said, yes.
Heard that said. Well, what love is self-giving, and it's self-giving, totally unselfish, and it's that thing of loving your neighbour as you love yourself. It's wanting the good of other people before your own good. And if everybody, if God in some way, if what God is in some way love itself, the force, the active force that is love, then if you try and apply that to the things that you do in your everyday life, actually a lot of the ills that we have caused to happen on this planet wouldn't happen.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Alison's actually said that loads of times before. She thinks that in terms of being, like, although she doesn't believe in God really, she kind of believes in Jesus as a political reformer. She thought
he certainly was.
Yeah.
He certainly was a political reformer, and he existed as a matter of history.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. Now, to answer the other question, the third question, what was it again?
Okay, so I was just interested in what you... It's really annoying, the echo started on Skype again. I can hear myself so much. I was wondering what you think the sort of drivers are behind human beings, why we're always thinking of things, and having to tinker and make things all the time, and whether we have a kind of a kind of soothing drive or a sort of need to always make sense of things, and like you're saying, create beauty and order and rhythm where there actually isn't any. It's fine as it is, but then we have to kind of if I'm at a table, I always need to set up the knives and forks so they're just parallel. Can't help it.
I line things up.
Yeah, I know. But there's a kind of, I don't know, a kind of anal retentiveness sometimes, or sometimes we want to destroy things. I don't know. But we have this thing where we just want to basically make the world. I know take it and then do stuff with it all the time, and I kind of think that's the kind of the nature of what we do. I don't know, other creatures have their own things that they like to do. Rabbits like eating grass and digging burrows and things like that, and then we like to take the world around us and then shape it according to our whim.
Yes, because what we're trying to do is create order and safety out of chaos, aren't we? And it seems to be inbuilt into our brains to do that. As for enjoying looking at beauty, that kind of thing, I think it's just how we are. It's just how we're made.
So I mean, do you think there was a kind of quirk, like maybe there's a mutation in a monkey in Africa, how many 1,000 years ago, where there was one that just really liked lining up the sticks and making things nice, but then it kind of worked, so then other people did it, and it kind of proliferated. Maybe that was the story, or
I don't know, Charlie. I know that Cro-Magnon man, who lived 10,000 years ago?
I don't know. I can look it up on the internet.
Or maybe it died out 10,000 years ago. Cro-Magnon man's brain.
If it's 10,000, that's quite recent, by the way. That's almost history, almost.
I know. 10,000, maybe 12,000, maybe 10,000 BC. But his brain was bigger than ours. It's a big brain. But Cro-Magnon man died out. And he was before Neanderthals. And then Homo sapiens took over from Neanderthals. So there must have been, I don't think it was a chimpanzee or something, an ape. I think it was a different sort of human. I think humans are different.
Yeah.
And do with our brains.
By the way, you know, as I read that there's some evidence of Neanderthals having burial rites, and some people think that they had religion. It's thought, but obviously there's no way of knowing. But as far as if you compare the finds that you find of Neanderthal and early humans, there's a similar kind of evidence base for that type of thing. Is that a problem or not in terms of the Christian Church? I don't know.
No, absolutely not. How could it be?
No, I didn't think it was. I thought it was worth asking.
I mean, the Christian Church doesn't have any. Fundamentalist Christians don't like the idea of evolution and all that, because they tend to take every single word that's been written in the Bible as literal truth, whereas the sort of Christian that I am, and the people who've taught me, and Michael is and everything, we try and interpret the Bible with balance and with intelligence and for real, as it were, taking into account culture and history and all that sort of thing. I personally don't have any problem with science and evolution and Darwin and all that. I mean, I do believe that God created, but how he did it is entirely his affair.
Yeah, that was a good answer. Is there anything else you want to add? This has been quite comprehensive. I think we've done quite well with this.
Are you recording this?
It's really annoyingly, I haven't. I wish I was recording the video as well, because I can see you. Hello. So do you want to see Dusty? There she is. This is our cat. There's I've recorded the sound, so I will edit the sound together, and I'll put a video up on my website for this.
What, can you get me on your... That's frightfully boring, isn't it?
Sorry?
You're not going to get my picture on your website.
No, I won't. No, I wish I had done, because I think it would have made it more interesting, but it was too late at night, and I wasn't technological enough.
Well, if you want to do it again...
I would love to do it again. To be honest, I think you're the seventh person I've interviewed in the last 2 days about this, and it's been really, really fascinating. I've kind of it's really interesting. I kind of think it's quite important actually, and it's kind of, I think it's changed lots of things that I've been thinking about doing, and it's been really, really good.
That's what the other people said.
You can actually tell, if you go on the website, then you can listen to yourself, and you can listen to yourself now, and then you can hear the other people too.
And what's the website?
It's my website. It's charliewhinney.com /Stupid Apes.